Very good afternoon to all of you. I, Dr. Sanjib Pattnaik, I welcome you all to this particular session on tools and techniques of total quality management. This particular course has been coded as MMPC 019, which has a title of Total Quality Management. Up till now, we have come across the various basics, fundamentals of total quality management. Apart from that, we have seen how total quality management can work successfully in an organization. Today, we shall discuss about the various tools and techniques of the total quality management. That is the unit 8 of your third block. Now, what is this total quality management approach? Up till now, we have seen total quality management always tries to focus on the requirements of the customer and works accordingly. That means this total, it tries to make the organization run in that direction which will fulfill the requirements of the customer. Thereby, what will happen? We say that yes, we are able to deliver the quality items to the customers. So when we are talking of total quality management approach, it begins with the identifying customers' requirements. What customers will be requiring? Who are the customers? Now when we are talking of who are the customers, we talk of both external customers and internal customers. Now external customers are those who will be purchasing our end products. It may be from the marketplace, it may be from the shelf, or directly from the producers. Coming to internal customers, who are they? A conversion process, that means starting from input till the output, which comes out as the products or services. The basic raw material passes on through various stages. Each stage can be called as a particular process. Now, each process will be processing whatever it has received from the previous process, and it will be passing on the further processed items that has been done in that particular process to the subsequent or the next process. So input of one process is the output of the previous process, and output of the process becomes the input of the next process. Now here the thing is, each process has its own requirement. That means what kind of inputs they will be having for their particular process. Now these inputs will come from the previous process, who have to produce or process the basic item into such a form that it becomes a quality input for the next process. And total quality management helps or strives to achieve this logic, that how quality can be maintained for customers or meeting the customer requirements, both external and internal. Now, what does it require? What does total quality management requires? Now we say the basic requirements is improvement in design and delivery of deliverables. Now, let us look at this particular sentence from backwards. Delivery of deliverables. Now, deliverables are the requirement of the customers. We as an organization should process the inputs in the conversion process and get the final output, which will be matching at least the requirements of the customers. So we say delivery of the requirement of the customers or the deliverables. Now, this delivery of deliverables depends upon the design. Design of what? Now the product, not only the product, but also the process. Now, not every process is capable of producing everything. We should design our process which should go to the extent of meeting the deliverables, that means requirement of the customers. Similarly, any product design we manufacture or have in our minds, it is difficult to manufacture with a given set of machineries or given set of infrastructure. What we require for that? Now we require some kind of designs which will help or assist in ease of manufacturing, and also on the other hand should match the deliverables. Now this also requires a number of changes. Now what are the changes? The changes in the organizational climate. When we talk of organizational climate or the organizational variables, it is impacted by a number of items like the social, the cultural, the attitudes, and the technology. Now, the social variables depend upon where the particular organization is working. Now, this will be varying from one particular region to another region, one country to another country, one continent to another country. Similar is the case of culture, the working culture. The working culture is not same everywhere. A company which might be having different subsidiaries or different divisions at different locations will be subjected to be exposed to the different cultural aspects. Apart from that, we also say the organization is affected by attitudes of the people, how they take to the work. Now, these attitudes will also vary from region to region, time to time, maybe industry to industry, etc. Similar is the case of the technology. The technology which are already existing in the organization might not be able to deliver the deliverables. So what we need now, we require the infusion of the new technological ideas, infusion of new technological tools. So this kind of changes are required for our team. Lastly, we say reliability. What is reliability? Now we say when a product comes out, it has some features, and these features or the functions of the product should continue for the life period of the product that we are having. But what happens due to the cross of time, or as time passes by, we say that the functionality may get reduced. So, whether the product is able to perform in a better way or as has been promised to the customers for a notable period of time should always be assessed, that whether it is functioning in a correct manner or not, and this should be specified clearly, that whatever is the product, it should function in the optimum way till this time period. Apart from that, the total quality management framework always strives to improve upon this thing. That means the reliability factor should get enhanced. Now, let us enter into the various tools and techniques that are adapted for total quality management. The first tool that we should look at is benchmarking. Uh, the term benchmarking, almost all of us might have a fair idea of this. We might have done this for ourselves many a times, or at least sometimes during our life period. What we try to do, suppose a certain function we are going to carry out. We try to look at how the function can be done in the best possible way. Now, what is that best possible way? And the person who is doing it in the best possible way, we try to look at that. How is it being done? What are the results? And we strive to go for that. That means we strive to achieve the benchmark that has been set. So here we try to define it. The benchmarking is a standard against which anything can be measured. So we can take numerous examples here. Think about a car tire. We know that car tires are expected to run for at least 50,000 kilometers on an average under standard usage. So whatever the big brands or the brands of tire manufacturer they are manufacturing, they try to manufacture their tires which will function or carry out its operation, or at least that particular target level, that is the benchmark. So here we can know whether we are successful or we are failing. So we say benchmarking is a standard against which anything can be measured. Now, this benchmarking, which was more or less developed by Xerox Corporation of United States, it defined benchmarking as a continuous process of measuring outputs and practice against leaders. Think about our school days in our class. Suppose a certain student is securing first rank. That means his or her output, that means the result, is the topmost, or he or she is the leader. Now we try to visualize uh, how much we have secured, how much they have as a topper have secured. So keeping that in view, we try to carry out our studies. Now, to carry out the studies, we also try to learn how the class topper is studying, how he manages to secure good marks, how much time the student is studying, how much time he is spending to learn the things. So we say it is a continuous process of measuring outputs and practice against leaders. Now here, what are the elements in benchmarking? Now we say there are three basic elements of benchmarking. One is analysis of the function or the operation or the process that is being carried out. Second element is comparison. We try to compare our way of working, processing with the leaders or the industry leaders. Then when we try to compare it, we have a certain idea how we are carrying out the operation, how the leaders are carrying out the operation. Thereby, we get certain ideas how these activities are being carried out by leaders. How can we implement that in our organization? That means we try to synthesize the practices of the leaders into our own working style. Now, what are the types of benchmarking that we face? One is product benchmarking. Suppose we are manufacturing certain kind of electronic mobiles, electronic device like mobile phones. Industry leader, suppose let us take it as the Apple phone. Here, since we are considering in our example Apple as the leader, we are also a producer of mobile phones. So we take the benchmark of the leader, that is Apple. What are the functions, how they are producing, what are the features in the Apple phone. All these things we take into account. Now we try to see what are the functions present in our product, what are the features that are present in our product. That means we have benchmarked our product or the output to the leader's product or the output. Then how Apple phone is performing. When we say performance, then we are talking of the longevity, the reliability, etc. Then looking at that particular target, that means the performance of Apple phones, we try to judge how our electronic gadget, that is the mobile phone, they are working or performing. Is the battery life equal? Is the longevity equal? Reliability factor, how much reliable are our gadgets and how much are theirs. Next is the process benchmarking. Now the output or the products has to be created in a conversion system. Now this conversion system can be divided into a number of small subcomponents called as the processes. Now, how does our process or processing in our different segments is being done? It is compared with the processing factor of the leaders. We try to see where we are lagging behind. How can we work in a better manner? Last is the strategic. When we are talking of strategic, we are talking of the long-term benchmarking. That means leaders always will be trying to maintain their top position. So they will be continuously improving their product, the product's performance, the process which is creating the products. Now this continuous improvement and infusion of new knowledges, technologies, skills will help the organization to remain in the business circle in the long run. Now coming on to the methodology of benchmarking. How can we benchmark? Who are the leaders with whom we can benchmark our the product or performance or the process or the strategic actions? First is internal benchmarking. What do we understand by it? Let us say we are an organization. We have suppose different manufacturing segments at different geographical locations. It is not always that every product or a product of ours, wherever it is produced, will considered as best. At some places it will be best, at some places it may be lagging behind. So what we try to do? We try to match our activities, the actions, the process, the product with our internal subsidiaries or internal divisions, those who are producing the same products but at a different geographical location. Now, why they have become successful? Why we are lagging behind at a different geographical location? So that we try to compare and find out. Next is the industry benchmarking. Suppose I am producing uh, a particular gadget called as, let us go to the mobile phone. Now, all the manufacturers of mobile phone taken together is called as the mobile phone industry. Now, on an average, how the industry is faring regarding the product side, the performance, the process, we try to look at that. We try to match our product or performances with the industry standards and find out where we are lagging behind. The third methodology is the competitors. Now, competitors are those who will be producing the same products, but they never are friend of ours. We also fight with them for the market space. They also fight with us for the same marketplace. Now, if we find certain kind of advantages in the competitor's product or performance or the process, we try to take it as benchmark. We try to analyze where we are standing. How can we reach or get beyond our competitors? The next methodology of benchmarking is best in class. Now here we take whoever is the particular segments. Suppose mobile phone, that means out of all the mobile phone manufacturer, who is the best? We try to take it as the benchmark. We try to compare ourselves with their product performance or the process and try to judge what improvements we can bring about so that we can match their particular quality aspect. Then finally, we can have relationship benchmarking. What is relationship benchmarking? Suppose, think of a company which is producing the same product as us. Like, let us take the example of in earlier days for motorcycles, Hero was a company, Honda was one of the industry leaders in motorcycle segment. Now, Honda provided the technical know-how, etc., to Hero. Hero tried to see why Honda has become one of the best in the world. And this is done in a friendly manner, not in a competitive manner. So, relationship with the suppliers or the joint venture partners or the know-how providers, etc., also provides us benchmarking methodology. The another technique of our total quality management is QFD, quality function deployment. Now, before starting anything, let us go back. Those who might have heard about or might have seen around 40 years back, if I am taking 40 years back, in 1980s. At that time, taking the example of India, India was having closed borders. International trade barriers were too high for multinational companies to enter India. So whatever Indian producers were producing, we were forced to buy those things. That means whatever the management thought, that was forced upon the customers. But now, at present, or in today's world, what has happened? This whole thing has changed. Now, borders have come down, international trade barriers have gone almost. International competitors or companies, multinational companies, foreign companies are selling their products in India. Indian companies are selling their products in foreign nations also. So here, the few manufacturers, they are not able to force their product on the customers. That means demand of management is not holding good. What is happening? Now it has become the buyer's market, the customer's market. So whatever the customer is requiring, the producers or the manufacturers or the service providers have to adapt to that situation. Otherwise, they cannot sustain in this competitive world. So, when you are talking of quality function deployment QFD, it is a technique which measures the customer's needs, wants. Now, these wants or needs are plotted against how this can be fulfilled in engineering terms. What is the need of the customer? How can we successfully fulfill it in a engineering front? That is quality function deployment. So we say QFD drives product design towards customer want. So product is designed in such a way that it will be fulfilling the needs or the wants of the customer. And as we said, QFD permits voice of customer rather than the demand of management. So what will be happening here? Here the organizations allocate resources and coordinate skills and functions in producing the final product according to the wants of the customers. Earlier, the allocation of resources or the skills and functions were done according to management. But now, no. These resources or the skill and functions have to be directed, channelized towards meeting the wants of the customer. QFD identifies customer needs. Yes, we have seen up till now. This tries to identify not only the needs but the root product function. That means the basic function that should be there in a product. QFD also provides unexpected features that excite and delight the customer. In the initial days of our, we can say, set-top boxes, it was coming or beamed directly from the satellites to our home via a small antenna. There we are having a particular remote which we could use to change the required channels. So the root product function here of the set-top box is to provide quality TV channels to the customer's house. Apart from that, nowadays what has happened? We are bombarded with a large number of TV channels, programs, etc. It is not easy to remember at which number channel what is coming. We can remember only 2, 3, not all the things exactly. So we have to go on searching for it. But nowadays the set-top boxes, STBs, are coming with remote where you can give them voice command. Now you see, the basic root function of the remote is to search for channels that a customer is wanting to see on their televisions. But new function, new features are coming up in the remote, like just as I said, the voice command or the voice assist function. You speak to the remote and automatically it will come out, or the channel will come from the set-top box to your TV. This definitely will excite and delight the customer. So apart from the root function, they are provided with some extra, so customer is delighted. Now let us look at the third technique of our total quality management, that is reliability. Now this is a term which we have used, we can say, on numerous occasions during our lifespan up till this point of time. Is he reliable? How is his reliability? Is that item reliable? What we mean by reliable? That the thing or the product will function for a specified period of time according to the given assurance by the producer. Usually what happens when we procure things, products or services, the failures in the product occurs mainly in the initial few time periods or during the last time period. But in the middle time periods, once the product starts running, then it is considered to be the reliable time period. Here we say quality means conformance to standards. That is the basic definition we had started this paper with. The performance of an product or service should be matching the standards that has been set. Now, this conformance to standards, is it always there till the life of a product is over? So when we try to attach the time dimension of quality for conformance to standards, it is called as reliability. Sooner or later, everything decays from ordered state to a disordered state. Let us take the example of a two-wheeler. Most of us are having two-wheeler, or those who are having four-wheeler also, they can take their own example. If you look carefully, when we purchase it, in the initial 6 months or 1 year, warranties are provided by the company. Because since the items have been set together for the first time, the new vehicle, it may develop certain snags or troubleshooting might be there, but mostly it doesn't happen. But still the chances of troubleshooting are in the initial days. Once the initial time period, suppose 1 month the two-wheeler has run, we'll find that it will run. It will run for at least 5 years, 6 years without not much of troubles or without trouble also. But after 5, 6 years, what will happen? The number of failures, number of snags, number of troubleshootings will start rising. What we mean by that? Now the failures are increasing. So we say sooner or later everything decays from ordered state to a disordered state. Our vehicles may suffer that disordered state due to the wear and tear during the middle period. So when we say reliability, we try to define it also as it is the chances that a product will perform its desired functions over time. That means the time frame is its life period. This reliability measures MTBF, that means mean time between failures. Now, what do you understand by it? Now, if we find a certain product is constantly developing troubles or failing in its function, so what will happen? The time between failures gets reduced, or the number of failures are reduced. For example, here I can say mean time between failures. If I want to show it on a time scale, suppose this is the lifespan of a product. Now, one case I see here, these are the failure rates. So how many failures I am having? 2 failures, and the lifespan is 6 years. These are one failure and the second failure. So in 6 years, I am having 2 failures. That means average time between failures is 3 years. Considered another item or a product of similar kind but different manufacturer. Suppose it is having 10 failures during the life period. So what we can say? Every 0.6 years, the item is developing some kind of trouble. What do we understand by it? Now this particular product is a troublesome one. Reliability is less. The more number of failures we get, the more is the mean time between failures. So what does reliability engineering does? Now it takes failure statistics, tests, predicts, and brings about improvement in reliability. So we can say reliability engineering focuses on why the product is failing, how can we improve it so that reliability can increase. We also say reliability is a bathtub curve. All of us might have seen. Suppose this is a product's life cycle of 6 years, and this is failure. And this is time I am taking. Mostly it is seen every product will show a characteristic like this. I presume this looks like a bathtub. Almost all might have seen what is a bathtub. That means the failure is more in the initial time period and it reduces. Once it reaches a particular time period here, the failure rate is very less. But after a certain time period, suppose 5 years, due to wear and tear, again the failure will increase. Failures are increasing. This has been seen in almost all the products. Now let us look at a Japanese technology that is 5S, but I try to understand it as the basic fundamental as given for our life by father of the nation Mahatma Gandhi ji, that cleanliness is next to God. Wherever you are, whatever you are, maintain cleanliness. And from that, for the last 2-3 years, we are having a particular program by the government that is called as Swachh Bharat. It is not that we should enforce such kind of programs on people. It should be born in the minds of people. There are many countries in the world which are very spick and span. You cannot ever make the particular places dirty, throw away anything where you want. You have to maintain the utmost cleanliness in those countries. So why not that can happen in India? That also is adapted in total quality management. The Japanese technique called as 5S, which are acronym for 5 Japanese words. So it is a step-by-step approach for developing a clean and well-organized workplace. Siri means sorting out. Sorting out means try to segregate the productive activities and non-productive activities. Sit-turn, that means straighten. Try to do away with the non-productive activities. Keep the productive activities and try to what we can say, ask the employees that you have to adopt this cleanliness activities. Third comes Sishu, that means signing. Don't we feel that if our workplace, work table is very neat and clean, spick and span, signing, it gives a positive feeling to do the work. The fourth S stands for Shiketsu. That means standardize the activities. Activities for the above three, Siri, Sitten and Sisu. Just like think about our own houses. We maintain a cleanliness routine. That means cleaning the house every day or going for what we can say that washing or mopping of the floors. So this thing should be standardized. Every day it should be done at this point of time so that our house is spick and span. Then the last S stands for Shitsuke. I have a clean table, suppose, in front of me at the office. I feel nice to do the work. What I will do here? Today I start working and throw away whatever I have here and there on the table. Next day I come, will I find that cleanliness of the spick and span table? The answer is no. So this habit or the 5S should be maintained over time. Another important technique is zero defects. This basically was developed in the US military, the zero defects program. What happens? Whatever you are doing, do it correctly for the first time so that no defect will be carried forward for the next processing unit. If no defects are there at any of the processing segments, what will happen? We'll get the right item, qualitative item, as the final output. The operating principle of zero defects, when we are talking of, it is the conformance to requirements, requirements of the customers. Second is try to prevent any kind of activities which will create defects. Try to analyze, see that no defects are there at any stage, at any point of the operation. That means throughout the processing, the process is zero defects. Now, the last point is very important. If we are not conforming to the requirements, that means some kind of defects are cropping up, then that affects the quality of the output, and it will cost us heavily in terms of the lost customers, or in other words, the cost of quality. Now, Cosby has given a 14-step quality improvement procedure. What are his 14 steps? Now, first is the management should be committed towards the adoption of total quality management in the organization. They should always focus on requirement of the customer, and their commitment should never wave off. Second is create a team who will try to set up the quality program. Measure what was happening to the process earlier and after quality improvement, how much we have developed. Next step is cost of evaluation. That means to check the level of quality, how much we are spending. If the cost of evaluation is too high and eating away the quality aspect, then we should go for a new way of evaluation. Create awareness among the employees, among those who are working in the process. If any defects are occurring, immediately take corrective actions. Have an ad hoc committee who will oversee the act. The supervisors who are looking after the work should be properly trained regarding the quality aspect. Try to maintain at least a day for zero defects, so that there will be more awareness among the employees, and it will create a sense of quality in the employees of the organization. We should set our targets, the goals for quality. Any kind of error that is occurring or the causes of that error should be removed at the earliest possible time. Now, people get motivated when they are recognized for their work through rewards, promotions, etc. Have a quality council and do this process on a continuous basis. Do it again and again. We can also go for the re-engineering, that means looking at the rethinking and radical redesign of business processes. Apart from that, you can look at the Taguchi methods where the designing part is taken into consideration. And finally, the Six Sigma principle, which is based on statistical technique of standard deviations and the standard normal curve. Apart from this, there are many other tools and techniques. These are few of them. With this, we end our session. Thank you.